Hi guys, it's Tapester here, and today I'm diving into 10 of my favourite picks from the latest Heritage Auctions movie poster signature sale happening right now. We've got everything here: Bond, Star Wars, Hammer Horror, 80s classics, and I'll be telling you what I think they'll sell for and which ones I would actually buy. Let's get into it. So first up, we've got Dr. No. This is where it all begins. Dr. No, the first Bond film. This British quad is unrestored and in excellent condition with only minor fold wear, which is exactly what collectors want. Estimate is $15,000 to $30,000, and honestly, that feels about right. But what's wild is that 20 years ago, you could buy one of these for probably under $10,000. This is a true blue chip poster. First appearance of Bond, iconic franchise, and I'll be watching this closely. Next up, we've got Batman from 1966, starring Adam West. And this is one of my favourite designs for any Batman poster. It's a French Grand, and if you're not familiar with them, French Grand posters are massive. This design itself is not particularly rare, but this one is a signed copy by Adam West and Burt Ward, who played Robin. It also has Beckett authentication, which just that gives you that extra peace of mind. So they put $4,000 to $8,000 on it. I think that's quite a lot of money, but I'll be really interested to see what it goes for. Normally this poster would cost you a fraction of that. And I don't have it myself, but you can also get the smaller version of it. I'd probably want to pay about £500 for that, no more. Right, next up we have Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, this is one of my all-time favourite films, starring my favourite actor of all time, Harrison Ford. And this one caught my eye because I might have just recently invested in a Harrison Ford signature from private signing quite recently. I actually got the same poster signed. Mine's a reproduction, it's not an original. And actually, this isn't an original film poster either. It's a fan club one sheet, so it's full-sized US one sheet. It's got a lovely signature, and they put an estimate of $1,000 to $2,000 on it. Raiders posters, there's a lot of them. They're not uncommon. They're still very affordable. As collectors out there know, people pay a premium for Ford's signature. Okay, so my next pick was a Hammer horror film. This is a country of origin, British quad, a classic Hammer horror, and these continue to perform very well. This one's very fine, minus. It's also on linen, which put me off slightly. I don't like my posters on linen. I like to see them folded, warts and all. Ideally, not much damage, but I'm quite happy to have a folded poster framed. In some ways, I'd rather see that than see a poster that's been put on linen and has had someone do some touching up on it. This one's got an estimate of $1,000 to $2,000 on it, which I think is quite reasonable. When I started collecting film posters about 25 years ago, this poster would still set you back about £1,000, which then was probably $2,000. But Hammer has a very loyal collector base. It's not the best Hammer example, so I'd be interested to see what this goes for. The best Hammer pieces are now competing with early Bond posters. So my next choice is Curse of the Werewolf. Now this is a poster I know really well. I actually have one myself, and this is another French poster, but this time it's the French petite format. So it's about half the size of a UK quad or US one sheet. The artwork's often the same as the French Grand. It's just a much more user-friendly format to actually have on your wall. It says fine on linen. Personally, that feels quite high. I paid nowhere near that for mine, and mine's in nice unrestored condition. Okay, next I have another horror, but this time we're going to the 80s and The Nightmare on Elm Street. The first appearance of Freddy Krueger, and it's a classic design by British artist Graham Humphreys. He did a lot of great 80s horror movie poster artworks, including The Evil Dead. If you're not familiar with Graham, I'm sure you'll be familiar with his artwork. This one is folded, and they've classed it as very fine minus, which is exactly how I like my quads, untouched. And there's always that debate, folded versus linen backed, especially in the US versus the UK collectors. I think in the US, a lot of collectors like to have their posters all pristine, restored and on linen. In the UK, the market definitely opts for unrestored but in good condition. You know, if you have a valuable poster that would benefit from restoration, then it's always worth considering. And I have had posters restored as well. But you need to look really hard for a good restorer because they are hard to come by. What are your thoughts? Do you prefer Limbat posters or do you like them unrestored like me? Let me know in the comments. The 80s posters like this have exploded in value over the last decade. A Nightmare on Elm Street was a poster that you could pick up for a few £100 not that long ago, and now it's got an estimate of $1,000 to $2,000 on it. I think it will do that and possibly more because it's in nice unrestored condition. UK posters are far rarer than the US one-sheet versions. It's a much smaller place, far fewer cinemas, far fewer posters printed. And I'm actually quite surprised that this poster hasn't been sold by Heritage before. If you don't know Heritage at all, they're a really well-established auction house based in Dallas. They've had signature movie poster sales for a long time, and they're one of the best auction houses in the world for selling film posters. So moving on, we're on to Forbidden Planet, and some collectors might consider this the Holy Grail. This particular one is fine to very fine, and it's on linen. This is a 1956 poster. When these things were printed, they weren't printed to last. They were printed to be splashed up on a wall and torn back down again, and most of them were. But those people that were smart back then, who decided to keep them, stick them up on the wall or look after them, they're the reason that we still got these posters now to enjoy. So a poster like this from 1956, I'd expect to be linen backed, to be honest with you. They've got an estimate of $6,000 to $12,000 on it. Sci-fi and horror just never go out of fashion. Bold artwork, cult following. This is one of the best. Okay, next up, I've got Invasion of the Saucermen from 1957. This is another brilliant 50s sci-fi piece, but this one has had heavy restoration, which explains the $3,000 to $6,000 estimate. If I'm paying that sort of money, I'd want it in top condition, personally. Moving on to another Star Wars title. Great story behind this one. Originally titled Revenge of the Jedi until George Lucas changed it, deciding revenge didn't fit the Jedi philosophy. That means these posters were printed, then pulled, making them highly collectible. The estimate on this is $2,000 to $4,000. It's in very fine plus condition, so it's a nice one. It's not folded, it's rolled, like a lot of them are. There are a huge amount of fakes out there for this poster, so authentication is key. This poster has never really appreciated much more. It's always been expensive. I think part of the reason why it's not gone up in value is because there are so many fakes and people have been caught out. I think this one's right. I think the one I have is right. And it's always a fan favourite. Finally, I've got number 10, The Outlaw Josey Wales, which is another poster I have in my collection, a Western classic starring Clint Eastwood. And these posters continue to perform well. Estimates $1,000 to $2,000, which honestly surprised me. If it hits that, it's a big jump from where these were 20 years ago, and a sign the Western market is heating up, especially titles with Clint Eastwood, because he is a legend. That's it for my top picks from today's signature sale at Heritage. Let me know in the comments which one you would go for and what you think will smash the estimate, if any of them. And if you enjoy this kind of content, from film posters to props and memorabilia, hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.